Okay. Uh, so Samiksha and Steve, am I audible? No.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So we will be starting a new chapter today. Basis of accounting, and this is more of a theoretical chapter, and we will be discussing 2 or 3 question of practical in this chapter only. Otherwise, everything in this chapter is theoretical, and I guess we will be able to finish this chapter today only because it is a very small chapter, and we only have to cover 2 topics in this particular chapter. So before proceeding further with this chapter, with this new chapter, I just want to ask if you have any doubt in any previous topics like bank reconciliation statement or anything that you want to ask regarding the previous sessions. Samiksha or Steve.
Not as of now, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's continue with this chapter, basis of accounting. Steve, you want to ask anything? You have any doubt or anything that you want to ask? He will not be responding. Okay. So basis of accounting in this particular chapter, we will be discussing about types of two approaches of maintaining account. But before that, uh, let's understand the main purpose of accounting. And I think I have already told you in the very first chapter that the main purpose of accounting is to determine the profits or losses earned during the period of a particular year,
Yes, sir.
right? So in order to basically determine the profit or losses of a year, we need to do the accounting. So the main purpose of accounting is to facilitate, or sorry, is to determine the profit earned or losses incurred by the business during the year. And in order to calculate the profit or losses, there are two ways by which accounts can be prepared. This is I think this is very clear that we need to prepare account in order to determine the value of profit or losses. There is no doubt in that we need to prepare the account, but accounts can be prepared on following basis. There are two bases on the basis of which accounts can be prepared. First is cash basis accounting, and the other is called the accrual basis accounting. So cash basis accounting and the accrual basis accounting, two bases of accounts are there. Two bases we can follow to prepare the accounts. And the profit and loss, determination of profit and loss depends in fact vary depending upon the types of approach or the basis that we are using for the accounting purpose. So first of all, let's start with the cash basis accounting. What is a cash basis accounting? See, so cash basis accounting is what? Cash basis accounting is a system which says that transaction should be recorded only when the cash is received or paid. Whenever there is inflow or outflow of cash, only then transaction should be recorded. That is what the cash basis accounting says. Getting my point? For example, you are paying the electricity bill for the month of November for this particular month, and you are paying the. So for example, you are preparing the first of all you are preparing the accounts for the month of November, right? You are preparing the accounts for the month of November, and let's say you have paid the electricity bill of of the November month. Then the electricity bill that is paid for the November month is paid in the November itself. Then this transaction will be recorded in the accounts of the month of November. Getting my point? If
Yes, sir.
any transaction is related to what I can how can I explain this? See, any transaction that leads to the inflow or outflow of cash, only those transactions will be recorded in the cash basis accounting. Unless and until there is an outflow or inflow of cash, such income or expenses will not be recorded. For example, the bill relating to the November, I'll be paying that bill in the month of December, right? For example, my monthly bill generated on 28th November, but due to some reason I didn't pay the electricity bill in the month of November. I'll be paying that bill in the month of December. So according to the cash basis accounting, the expenses, the bill that I'll be paying in the December is actually related to the month of November. This should be recorded in the expenses of the November
December.
month. This should be recorded in the November month expenses, but because we are following the cash basis accounting, that means we have paid the expenses for the electricity bill in the month of December. So now the expenses will be recorded in that particular month, not in the month of November, even though that
Yes, sir.
particular expense is related with the month of November, but it will be recorded in the month of December because we are following the cash basis accounting. So
Okay,
according
sir.
to the cash basis accounting, according to cash basis accounting, it is a system in which transactions are recorded when cash is received or paid. Unless and until cash is paid for any transaction, then such transaction will not be recorded. All right. Any doubts, Amiksha?
No doubt, sir. I understood.
Okay. Now, under this system, entry is not recorded when payment or receipt are merely due. Let me explain this concept. I think Halima is in the waiting room. Just a minute. Let me add her. All right. Halima, are you there? You're able to hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, Halima, we have started a new chapter today, and the chapter that we are doing is basis of accounting. All right. So in this chapter, we are talking about the various bases on the basis of which accounts can be prepared. So there are two bases on the basis of which we can prepare the accounts. Accounting is done on the basis of two approaches. One is called the cash basis accounting, and the other is called accrual basis accounting. All right. So there are two bases of maintaining accounts. Accounts can be maintained on the basis of cash basis, or it can be maintained on the basis of accrual basis. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is cash basis accounting? Let me explain this. Cash basis accounting says whenever, on only those transactions should be recorded in the accounting which involves the inflow or outflow of cash. Unless and until cash is received or cash is paid, we should not record any transaction. Transaction must be recorded in the books of account only when it leads to the inflow or outflow of cash. Unless and until cash is received or cash is paid, there is no requirement of recording those transactions. That is what the cash basis accounting says.
Okay.
Okay. So under this system, any transaction is not recorded only on the basis of payment or receipts are due. And I'm going to explain this, just a minute.
Sir, we did depreciation like that. We didn't understand that. Chapter 7.
Chapter 7, we didn't
We didn't do.
do depreciation yet. We will be doing that after the theoretical chapters that we have left in this particular syllabus. So
Okay, and bill of
we will be,
exchange also.
so okay, so bill of exchange is also in the midterm syllabus. Bill of exchange is also part of syllabus for the midterms.
I
For the
have
first
it in
term.
my chapter.
Okay, so Samiksha, this will be in that chapter is also in your syllabus as well.
Yes, sir.
Bill of
Depreciation is
exchange
there.
and depreciation.
Yes, sir. Bill of
Sorry,
exchange is not there.
bill of exchange is not there. Okay, all
Yes, sir.
right.
Depreciation is there.
Okay. So, all right, no problem. Probably we will start depreciation in the next class. Okay, or
Okay.
I'm going to start that chapter after discussing one or two theoretical chapters, because we were doing till now we were only doing the practical chapters of our syllabus. So I wanted to shift to the theoretical part also. I was thinking of covering the theoretical part as well. Will you wait for a minute? Someone is calling me and this is very important. So let me receive the call. Just a minute.
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry. Okay. So I was saying that according to the cash basis accounting says record the transaction, record any transaction, only when cash is received, that is income is received or payment is made. It basically says that you irrespective of the due date of the payment or the receipt of cash, transaction are to be recorded either on the basis of cash received or the payment is made. For example, let's talk about the month of November. Let's suppose we are doing the accounting for the month of November only. All right. So let's suppose there is certain kind of expense for the month of November. Expense of rupees 5,000. All right. We are doing the accounting for the month of November. And this expense, which is actually due in November, actually due in which month? It is due in November, but it is paid in the month of December. But it is paid. The expense that is due in November, we are paying this expense in the month of December. 5,000 will be paid in the month of December. So tell me, if we are doing the accounting for the month of November, Halima, you will answer this only. If we are doing the accounting for the month of November, tell me whether this expense will be recorded in the accounts of the November, yes or no?
No, it won't.
It won't be recorded. Why it will not be recorded? Because this, even though the expense is related with the month of November, but the expenses, we are paying this expense in the month of December. So when we will be paying this expense, then only we will be recording this in our accounts. According to the cash basis accounting, irrespective of the due date of expense or due date of income or expenses will only be recorded in the accounts when it will actually received or it will be paid by the enterprise. All right. So this is what the cash basis accounting basically says. Record the transaction only when cash is received or payment is made, not on the basis of due dates. All right, Halima, Samiksha, and Steve, is this
Yes,
clear,
sir.
all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Revenue is recognized on the basis of cash basis accounting. We are talking only. So revenue is recognized at the time when cash is received and not at the time of sale or change of ownership of goods. Let's suppose I have sold goods to Samiksha in the month of August, right? And I have sold goods of rupees 50,000 to Samiksha, and Samiksha is basically saying that she will pay me in the month of November. So the right to receive the income has already been arised in the month of August when I have sold goods to Samiksha. The income is already due on Samiksha in the month of August only, but this income is received in the month of November. So the transaction will only be recorded in the month of November and not in the month of August. Getting my point? Revenue is recognized
Yes,
at the time when cash is actually received and not at the time of sale. I have sold goods to, usually what do we do in accounts? Usually what do we do when just as soon as we sold good, as soon as we sell goods to some person, we start recording the transaction in our journal or somewhere in our books of account, right? But if we are following the cash basis account, we won't be recording that transaction. If we are selling the goods on credit, because there is no inflow of cash, therefore such transaction will not be recorded in the books of account if we are following the cash basis accounting. But if we are following the accrual basis accounting, then we can record that transaction even if the cash is not there. So that we will talk about that later. So for now, revenue is recognized at the time when cash is received and not at the time of sale or change of ownership of goods. And expenses are recorded only at the time of actual payment. So both revenue and expenses are actually recorded on the basis of payment or receipts. That is it. The difference between the total receipts, that is revenue, and expenses is profit earned or losses suffered. So whatever the payment that we have made, actually made, and whatever the receipts that we have actually received, on the basis of that only we will be calculating the total revenue. So we won't be taking into consideration the goods sold on credit or the payment received in advance. Any payment which is received in advance or the goods sold on credit will not be taken into consideration in the cash basis accounting. Only cash transaction will be recorded there. Is that okay, everyone?
Yes.
So in determining
Yes.
the profit in the cash basis accounting, in order to determine the profit or revenue, we simply reduce the payments from the receipts. The difference between the total revenue and the expenses is considered as the profit, or you can say the revenue also. So in cash basis accounting, we do not consider these things. Outstanding expenses will not be recorded because outstanding expenses what? Expenses which is due, but we haven't paid for those expenses, right? For example, salary, which is due, but we didn't pay the salary of our employees, that will become outstanding expense. Because we didn't pay the outstanding expense, because we do not pay for the outstanding salary. Outstanding salary will not be recorded in the books of account anywhere. Prepaid expenses is what? Expenses that we have paid in advance, that is called prepaid expenses. So expenses has been paid on the basis before the due date, right? So prepaid expenses will not be recorded. Accrued income received in advance, everything that is outstanding or paid in advance will not be recorded in the cash basis accounting. Prepaid expenses, accrued incomes, income received in advance are not recorded in the cash basis accounting. Now let's talk about the advantage of cash basis accounting. What is the advantage of cash basis accounting? One of the very important, yes.
Sir, I didn't get that accrued income is not recorded. That means if we get an accrued income, so that means that when we receive it on.
No, accrued income basically means income which is due but not received.
Yes, sir, so
Income,
that won't be counted in cash basis.
yeah, that will not be counted.
Okay.
For example, my salary is due on 30th of every month, but my salary actually get credited into my account on the 8th of next month.
Yes, sir.
So because salary is due, salary of this month is due on 28th, but I'm not receiving the salary of this month in this month actually I'm going to receive that the salary of this month in the next month. So the accounting, the salary will be accounted in the next month only. That will be included in the income of the next month only, not in this month. Right,
Okay,
Samiksha?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
So advantage of cash basis accounting is what? First of all, this is very simple because we need to record only cash transactions, payments which is made in cash, payment received, and income received. As soon as income is received, as soon as the payment is made, only then we will be recording the transaction. This is it. So cash basis accounting is very simple. And we do not have to make the adjustment for outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued incomes, etc. So all of these are not required to be adjusted in the cash basis account. We do not consider all of these things in the cash basis accounting. So hence the entire process of accounting becomes very simple in the cash basis accounting. And the second advantage is that this is suitable for only those enterprises where most of the transactions are on cash basis. So this is the second, you can take it as an advantage that cash basis is only suitable wherein most of the transactions are recorded on the cash basis. Then in that case, cash basis accounting can be useful. All right, so it is simple and it is suitable for the enterprise which is doing the transaction on cash basis only. Now, what are the demerits? What are the disadvantage of following the cash basis accounting? One of the disadvantages is that it does not give the true and fair view of the profit or losses, right? The profit or loss that you will be calculating on the basis of cash basis accounting, it might be possible that that is not correct. The profit or loss that you will be calculating for a particular month, it is possible that it is not correct because such profit and loss is not taking into consideration the prepaid expenses, accrued income, income received in advance, everything. All of these things are not taken into consideration in the cash basis accounting. Getting my point? That the profit or losses that we calculated on the basis of cash basis accounting will not give you the actual picture of the financial position of the enterprise. You cannot be very sure about the profit or losses of the enterprise who is doing the accounting on the basis of cash basis, on cash basis accounting, following the cash basis accounting. So this is one of the demerit of the cash basis accounting, that it does not give the true and fair view of the profit and loss of the financial position of the company. And it does not follow the matching principle also. What is matching principle? Matching principle says that the expenses and incomes of a related to a particular thing must be recorded in a particular month only, in a particular period only. So the expenses relating to a particular month or the income relating to a particular period must be recorded in that period only. That is what the matching principle says. We will be discussing the matching principle in a separate chapter, but for now just keep this in mind. Matching principle basically says that if we are doing the accounting for a particular period, then expenses of this particular period and the income of this particular period should be recorded in the accounting of this particular period only, right? But cash basis accounting, what does the cash basis accounting says? It says if we are doing the accounting for this particular period, but if cash is not received in this, even it is due, if we are not receiving cash in this particular period and we are receiving the cash after some time or in future, then such kind of transaction will not be recorded in this particular period. So that defies the principle, that defies the matching principle, the concept of matching principle. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Matching principle, what does the matching principle say? It says expenses and income relating to a particular month should be recorded in the books of account of that particular month only. Let me give you an example. For example, just a minute. Why it is freezed? Just a minute, guys. Okay. So let's say we are doing the accounting for the period of April to March, April 2021 till the March 2022. So according to the matching principle basically says that expenses of this period should be recorded in the accounts of this period only. Expenses of this period should be recorded in the accounts of this period. Income which is related to this particular period from April to March should be recorded in the books of account that we are preparing for this period 2021 to 2022. Right? For this particular period, we will be preparing which account? We will be preparing account relating to 2021 to 2022. So matching principle says that every expenses that relate to the year 2021-22 should be recorded in this particular account only, right? But cash basis accounting says if the expenses which is related to this year, but it is not paid in this year, it is paid in the next year, then this expenses will be recorded in the books of account of that particular year only. This is what the cash basis accounting says. If the expenses are related to the March
Yes.
of this particular month, but it is paid in the month of June of the next year, then this expenses will be recorded in the next year account 2022-23 accounts. So that means that defies the entire principle of the matching concept. Matching concept or matching principle says that expenses and income of a particular year or a particular period should be recorded in the accounts of that particular period only. But cash basis accounting says only those expenses or income should be recorded in the accounts of a particular year, which is actually paid, which is actually received in that year, and nothing else. So that means it is not following the matching principle. Is that right? Got it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Year
sir.
period means 1 year from March to June. So I mean from
March to April to March. This is called
April to
accounting.
March.
Yeah, this is called accounting year.
Yes, in this period only it should be like recorded.
It should be
Like,
recorded according
no
to the
month.
matching principle.
Okay, in this period.
In this every expense or income that is related with the app that is 2021 to 2022 shall be recorded in the accounts of the 2021-22 itself. That is what the matching principle says. But cash basis accounting says transaction of this 2021-22 can only be recorded in the accounts of the 2021-22 if it is actually paid, or income if it is actually received in this year. If it is not paid in this year, or the income is not received in this particular year, then it won't be recorded in the accounts of this particular year. That is what the cash basis accounting. So both the concept contradict each other, no? Matching principle says something, cash basis accounting says something else. So that is why we say that cash basis accounting does not follow the matching principle accounting.
Yes.
Well, will it apply that when we like bought something in June and transaction we are doing in March next year? So will that make any difference, or it's obeying the laws?
If sorry, I didn't get your question.
Like in June we bought something and
June of which year? 2021, 22?
21.
21, okay.
21 June we like bought something, and next year March 31st March like we got the money. So will that like counts or not?
Yeah, that will be counted as per the cash basis accounting, because we are selling the goods in the June 2021-22 and we are getting the money in the 2021-22 itself, in the 2021-22 itself, in the month of March. So that is part of that particular income, is part of this particular year only. So that will be recorded in this. But what if this income is received in the month of April next year? So now this will not be recorded in the accounts of the 2021-22. That now this will be recorded in the next year account 2022-23. Samiksha, Halima.
Yes, I got it.
Yes, sir.
So this is one of the demerit of the cash basis accounting, that it does not give you the true and fair view of the profit or losses and the financial position of the company, and it also contradicts with the matching principle. Now let's talk about the accrual basis accounting. If you have understood the cash basis accounting, now you must have a pretty good idea of the accrual basis accrual basis accounting is just opposite of the cash basis accounting. Like the cash basis accounting says that transaction should be recorded only when the amount is actually paid or the income is actually received, irrespective of the due dates. Accrual basis is completely opposite of that. It says under accrual basis of accounting, revenue is recognized when sales take place or ownership of goods and services changes, whether payment for such sale received or not is not relevant. As soon as you sold goods, irrespective of whether you have received the money or not, because you have sold good, that must be recorded in the books of account. Done. You will not wait for the payment to receive. As soon as the sale has taken place, you will record this transaction in the books of account. That is what accrual basis accounting says. And this also follows the matching principle. Samiksha, is this clear?
Yes, sir. This matches.
Okay, so the accrual basis of accounting is based on the realization and matching principle. That is what I was saying. When cash basis accounting is followed, sorry. This should not be cash basis accounting. This will be the accrual basis. I've written it mistakenly. It is when accrual basis accounting is followed, outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued income, income received in advance, everything will be taken into consideration. Just like in case of in case of cash basis accounting, we do not take these into consideration, but in case of accrual basis accounting, we consider all of these while preparing the accounts. So one of the advantage, can you tell me the advantage of accrual basis accounting? Any idea? It will be just opposite of the
It won't be that confusing, and it will be true.
it won't be that confusing. In
Yes,
fact,
it will show fair
The
results.
profit and
Yeah.
loss.
This is
Will be
perfect.
accurate this time.
This is correct,
Easy to
Halima.
understand.
That it will give a more true and fair view of the actual financial position of the company, right? So it shows a complete picture of the financial transaction of the business as it takes into account the effect of all transactions relating to a particular period. It takes into account the effect of all transactions relating to a particular period, as well as adjustment like outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, advance income. Everything is taken into consideration while preparing the accrual basis accounting. So the transaction which is actually related to this period, that is any income or cash received, or any payment is made in this period, this will be recorded. Even if something is not paid or something is not received, if it is due, if payment is due, if income is due, then the same will be recorded in the accrual basis accounting. So this basis discloses correct profit or loss for a particular period, right? So this gives you the proper picture of the financial status of the company, as well as this discloses the correct profit or loss of a particular period. Now let's talk about the disadvantage. Disadvantage is that it is more complicated. It is difficult as compared to the cash basis accounting. As I said, cash basis accounting is very simple because we are not concerned about any other thing than the receipt and payment of payment on the basis of cash. If we are making payment, then only we are going to record the transaction. If we are receiving cash, then only we are going to record this transaction. But in case of accrual basis accounting, things get complicated because in this we consider the other adjustment as well. We have to do the adjustment for the prepaid expenses, prepaid income, outstanding expenses, outstanding income. All of these things are taken into consideration. So accounting process under accrual basis accounting is too lengthy, right? And quick appraisal of the profit and loss is not possible. You won't be able to determine the profit and losses quickly. It will take a lot of time because we'll have to make adjustment for so many kind of transactions. So it is lengthy. It is not as simple as the cash book, and it is you won't be able to quickly evaluate the or determine the profit and losses of the enterprise. This will take time. All right, everyone. Samiksha, Halima, and Steve. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's differentiate between the cash basis and accrual basis. And if you have understood the meaning of the cash and accrual basis, I'm sure you will be able to differentiate between the accrual and cash basis. So first of all, let's differentiate it on the basis of recording of transaction. Recording of transaction. Which kind of transactions are recorded? Both cash and credit transactions are
cash.
recorded, right? But in case of cash basis accounting,
Only
cash transactions
cash.
are only recorded. Next, on the basis of prepaid, outstanding expenses, accrued income, everything is recorded in the accrual basis accounting. But in case of cash basis accounting, we do not.
It's not considered.
It's not considered, correct. Profit and loss, we
It
will
will
be
take
able.
time in accrual basis.
Firstly, it will take time, and you
But
won't
then-
be able to. In case of cash basis accounting, you won't be. It will take less time, but the profit and
But
loss
it's
that you
not
will determine,
accurate in a
correct,
cash
that will
basis.
not give you the true and fair view of the
Yeah.
enterprise. In case of accrual basis accounting, it takes
It
time,
will
but it
take
will
time,
give
but
you
it is accurate.
correct. So correct profit and loss is ascertained. In this case, correct profit and loss is not ascertained. Fourth, legal position. What is the legal position? Accrual basis accounting is recognized by the Companies Act 2013. See, there is an act in India which is called Companies Act 2013, and all the companies have to comply with the rules and regulations suggested in the Companies Act. So accrual basis accounting is actually recognized by the Companies Act. Every entity which is registered as a company will have to follow the accrual basis accounting only, because Companies Act only recognize accrual basis accounting. But on the other hand, cash basis accounting is not recognized by the Companies Act 2013, right? So if you are a registered company, if you are a private or a public company, then it is mandatory that you will be preparing your books of account on the basis of accrual basis accounting only. You won't be allowed to prepare the books of account on the basis of cash basis. All right, Samiksha, Halima.
Yes, sir.
Now, acceptability. So accrual basis is more acceptable. That means all over the world, most of the entities prepare their account on the basis of accrual basis. So there is more acceptability of the accrual basis accounting. But cash basis accounting is not very much acceptable. Only few entities like the non-profit organization entities which are working for the public welfare record their transaction on cash basis. So cash basis accounting is not considered basically this is not acceptable at the you can say worldwide. Over the worldwide, the accrual basis accounting is more popular, and more entities follow this kind of accounting. Next is suitability. This is suitable.
Sir?
Yes.
So cash basis is not recognized at all by any act, or only not recognized by?
This is not recognized by the Companies Act only.
Okay.
So every
But is it recognized by anything else?
There is no specific recognition by any other act. See, what is Companies Act actually saying? Companies Act is actually saying that any company which is registered under the Companies Act 2013 is required to maintain their accounts on the basis of accrual basis only. That is what a
Accrual
company's
basis.
account. Yeah.
Yes.
Companies account basically require the companies to prepare their accounts on the basis of accrual.
Yes.
But if you are not registered as a company, then there is no compulsion for you to prepare your accounts on the basis of accrual. You can prepare your accounts as you like. Like if you want to prepare your accounts on the basis of accrual, you can prepare your accounts on the accrual basis, or else you can also prepare it on the basis of cash basis. But if you are to run a company, if you want to register your business as a company, then you will have to follow the rules and regulations suggested under the Companies Act. And one of the regulation of Companies Act suggests that every company who is registered under the Companies Act is required to follow the accrual basis accounting only. Getting my point? This is done
Yes,
for the
sir.
sake of uniformity, to bring the uniformity.
Okay, sir.
It cannot be happen, no, that different companies preparing different basis of accounting. Just to just to bring uniformity in the entire industry, in the entire company.
All companies use
Yeah, the
need to use the
companies
same. Yes,
that
sir.
require that every company should follow the same approach,
Okay, sir.
so that it will be easier for everyone to compare the accounts of different companies. For example, you suppose you want to invest in particular company, right? And suppose, let's say there are 10 companies, and out of these 10 companies you have to decide in which company you will be investing your amount, investing your capital. And in order to determine, in order to decide whether you will be investing in the company first, second, third, fourth, or in any company, you must be uh, interested in understanding their accounts, right? But let's say all of these companies are preparing their accounts differently. Some of the companies are preparing their accounts on the basis of accrual, some of them are preparing on the basis of cash. So it will be very difficult for you to understand their financial position, compare their financial position, right? But if all the companies are following the same approach, if all the companies are following the accrual basis only, then it will be easier for you to compare the data of the different companies with each other. Samiksha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it.
Therefore, Companies Act requires you to prepare your accounts on the basis of accrual. And now the question also arises, why not Companies Act suggested the cash basis accounting? Why
Yes, sir.
Companies Act could have said that every company should prepare their accounts on the basis of cash basis, right? But as we already understood that cash
Yes.
basis accounting does not give the true
Correct profit.
correct profit and loss. Therefore,
Yes.
Companies Act only suggests that prepare accounts on the basis of accrual basis.
Okay, sir.
All right, let's talk about the suitability. So accrual basis accounting is suitable for every business, every kind, small, complex, every kind of business. For every kind of business, accrual basis of accounting is suitable, irrespective of the size of business or the complexity of the business. You can follow the accrual basis accounting, and this will be very suitable for your business. But cash basis accounting is only suitable for small organizations, or the organization which is related to non-profit or any other professional, like small firms or companies can follow the cash basis accounting only. All right, is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Is this okay, everyone's? Halima and Samiksha and Steve?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so I'll be giving you one question to, and in this question we will be calculating the profit both on the basis of cash and on the basis of accrual. So because I didn't added this on slide, so you will have to write this down. Let's write this. Note this down, everyone, please. So for the information that is given in the question is, so it is written that during, Halima and Samiksha, please write this down.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
During the financial year 2016 and 17, Ashok had cash sales Ashok has cash sales of rupees 3,90,000. And credit sales of rupees 80,000. No, credit sales of rupees 1,60,000. Sorry. This is 1,60,000, not 80,000. His expenses for the year. For the year basically means for the year of 2016-17. For the year were 2,70,000. Out of 2,70,000, out of which 80,000 is still pending. 80,000 is still to be paid. Still to be paid. Find out Ashok's income for the year 2016 and 17 on the cash basis and on the accrual basis. So we need to find out the total income of Ashok if he is following the accrual basis accounting or if he is following the cash basis accounting. In both the situation, we need to find out his total income for the period of 2016-17. Just tell me when you're done with the question.
Yes, sir, done.
Done. Okay, so Halima, you are also done?
Yes, sir, done.
Okay, so first of all, we will talk about the cash basis, total income on the on cash basis. So just a minute. Total income of Ashok. Cash basis accounting. If he's doing cash basis accounting. Okay. So when he is doing cash basis accounting, so we need to consider only cash inflow and cash outflow. All right. So see, during the financial year 2016-17, Ashok has cash sales. Tell me, in cash basis accounting, whether this cash sales will be taken into consideration, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And credit sale of 1,60,000, this will be taken into consideration, yes or no?
No, sir.
No. So we will be writing only, first of all, we will be writing cash sales. Cash sales. How much it will be? It was 3,90,000. But we won't be writing 1,60,000 as it was a credit sale. Now the expenses are also given. His expenses for the year were 2,70,000, out of which 80,000 is still to be paid. So total expense was actually 2,70,000, but out of this 2,70,000, he is yet to pay 80,000. That means he must have paid how much? 1,90,000 is paid by him only.
Yes, sir.
Right, Halima? Total expense was 2,70,000 and 80,000 is still to be paid. That means he didn't pay 80,000. Only 1,90,000 is paid. Therefore, in the cash basis accounting, we will consider the expenses only 1,90,000. Expenses rupees 1,90,000. Is that okay, Halima and
Yes.
Samiksha?
Yes.
Okay. So in order to find out the income of the Ashok, we need to subtract expenses out of the cash sales. So 3,90,000 minus 1,90,000.
Yes.
Total
So
income will be
22 lakh.
2 lakh will be is total income 2 lakh. This is the income as per cash basis accounting. Now we need to also determine his income on the basis of accrual basis. So total income of Ashok again, accrual basis accounting. If he is following accrual basis accounting. Okay. Now tell me, if he's following the accrual basis accounting, so he must consider the cash sales as well as the credit sale he will take into consideration. So cash sales was 3,90,000, right?
Yes. Sir.
And the credit sale was 1,60,000. So the total amount of sale will be
5,50,000.
5,50,000. And out of this, he will be subtracting all of the expenses. Whether he have paid the expenses or not, total amount of expenses which is due will be reduced, 2,70,000. So this will be reduced. Tell me the total amount of income that Ashok will have in accrual basis accounting. Out of 5,50,000, we need to subtract
2,80,000.
2,80,000 will be his income. So you can see, as per the cash basis accounting, total income is less, and as in case of accrual basis accounting, it is comparatively higher.
Yes.
So I hope everything that we have covered in this session is clear.
Yes.
Basically we were doing the cash basis and the accrual basis accounting. There are two approaches to determine the profit or losses of the business, and that can be determined based on the accounting that a particular firm or entity is following. So there are two bases by which accounts of the firm can be prepared or the enterprise can be prepared. One is the cash basis and the accrual basis. So we have understood the meaning of cash basis accounting. We have also understood the meaning of accrual basis accounting. What kind of transactions are recorded in the cash basis and the accrual basis. We have also understood that. And after that, we have we have understood the difference between the cash basis and the accounting and the accrual basis accounting. Then we have done a small question based on this concept. All right. So I hope everything that we have discussed in this class is clear to all of you. I'm giving you a few questions on the basis of same, and consider these will be your, just a minute, let me find out the questions. Okay, I'm showing you this question. Please take the screenshot of this. Just a minute. Is the question visible to all of you? Let me zoom it a little.
Sir, is this T.S. Grewal?
Yes, this is T.S. Grewal.
Okay, sir.
You have the same book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I have this.
Okay, if you have this, you can also do this from your book. Otherwise,
Okay,
take the
sir.
screenshot of this.
Yes.
Done? Samiksha, Halima, Steve?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so there are three questions that you need to basically, in which you need to find out the income based on accrual basis or the cash basis. Okay, guys, this is it for this session. Thank you so much for attending the class. We will be talking about, possibly we will start a new chapter again in the next class. But there is one more thing. See, as we are proceeding with the chapters, I think we have completed how many chapters? 9 chapters we have done, including the chapter that we were doing. So I think we have completed a lot of proportion in your first term syllabus. So make sure you revise everything on a regular basis. The chapters that we have already done, make sure you keep on revising those chapters, like ledger, journal, especially the bank reconciliation statement. So otherwise, if you don't revise them then there is a possibility that you might forgot everything. So make sure you make a schedule and revise everything that we have covered in the